and we welcome you back to the Thundercast. We have the Perry Meridian head coach, Robbie Strader. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I'm great. I'm great.
Good. So, good. Okay, so let's dive right in. Starting out with sectionals. Sectional 11 was a very interesting sectional this year, and it ended up
Mhm.
being Perry Meridian almost beating Center Grove. How was
Yeah.
that? How was that experience for you as a head coach?
Yeah, it was it was awesome to see our guys compete in one of the tougher sectionals in the state, I would say, and kind of started off with a tough game against uh township rival Southport. It's always a fun game when we play each other. Those boys grow up together and play against each other and everything, and it's battle of the birds every time, and we came out on top of that one, behind some good pitching and some timely offense, and yeah, we knew Center Grove was good. Obviously, they have a lot of talent up and down that lineup, a lot of talent on the mound. Coach Hatfield has been, putting together teams for a very long time, and this group was no different. It was fun to watch our guys, go in with no fear and at their place at Center Grove and just compete their tail ends off. And obviously, you come up short, but lessons were learned. We were a young team this year, so lessons were learned, and hopefully we can find a way to get back there this next year.
Yeah. Uh, yeah. So what? So going into the championship against Center Grove, uh, 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 what was said to the team, like going into the championship game against Center Grove, knowing, uh, 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 um, uh, I'm sorry,
Okay.
sorry, but what was said to the team, knowing that, what was said to the team, knowing CG was number one in the entire state.
Yeah, I mean, the message was pretty simple. Just go and play your game. And, the pressure's on them. Like you said, they're the number one team in the state. They're the ones that are expected to win. But we're confident in our ability and our preparation. And, obviously we play in the mid state, which is one of, if not the best conference in the state of Indiana. And, we see high quality arms every Tuesday and Wednesday. And, so we knew that we were prepared for the guys on the mound. We knew that we had our guy Jackson McDaniel on the mound for us that can beat anybody. And so the message was simple: just go and play your game. Leave it all out there. Play with no fear and play together. And for the most part, they did that. And that's what allowed us to have that lead going into the sixth inning, and be right there, able with a chance to take the game from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. So my next question is, okay, my next question about that game is, so what ended up so so how did the small ball work? Uh, Small ball work for you guys?
Yeah, I mean it's a tool that we utilize, and we're confident with everybody 1 through 9 being able to do it. It's something we practice. It's something that the expectation, when called upon, is there to get it done. And we knew that we weren't going to go in there and necessarily out hit them per se or anything like that. And again, we knew that we had a really good pitcher on the mound for us, so we felt like if we could get ahead by one, we could hold that. With McDaniel on the mound. And yeah, the opportunity presented itself, and I know our four-hole Marcus Lewis, catcher guy that's hit for us all year, stepped up and had a great quality sacrifice bunt. And then I believe it was Daniel Hoffman, our sophomore left fielder, that he's done it or did it multiple times throughout the year. Stepped up and got a bunt down to get a safety squeeze in, and from there we just kind of kept going. So yeah, it's a tool we utilize. We don't like to limit ourselves necessarily to relying on getting 10 hits a game or whatever it might be. If the situation dictates that we can get a guy moved up, or take advantage of a weak corner defender or whatever it might be. We want to be able to do that, and they executed for sure on both of those opportunities.
Yeah. Okay, so the last question about sectionals, like, is the question I was actually wondering, and I
Hmm.
just thought of on the fly, before you got in here. But at what point in the season? So before the season, I heard from our coach that sectionals was going to be at Holder Field. At
Hmm.
what point during the season, like, did that change back to Center Grove?
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. I mean, it was, obviously before the draw came out, but I don't think it was super. I don't think it was much earlier before that Sunday selection show. It's Holder's still kind of under construction. Obviously, we were able to play there this year, but we're not quite to the point to be able to get the seating that that sectional in particular requires. I mean, we sold out last year. We sold out every game at that sectional at Center Grove. So, they're continuing to work on it. It was a nice field this year. It's gonna continue to get better, but just weren't able to get the seating in that sectional requires. So I think that's when the decision was made. Just slide it back to Center Grove. I don't know if Holder will get to host it next year. I have no idea, but I don't think it was too much before that selection Sunday that it was kind of decided. Okay, maybe we need to slide back somewhere with some more spectator area.
Yeah. Now now I was going to say, like, that Mooresville might be hosting sectional 11. I mean sectional 12 next year, but then I realized, like, if it's based on the basketball sectionals, then uh, then Mooresville's actually sliding into Plainfield sectional next year.
Yeah,
So
I haven't seen them yet, but I know talking to some of the other coaches, I think they're mimicking the basketball sectionals. I believe.
yeah, so it's going to be uh, yeah, so it's more than likely going to be uh, like, yeah, it's going to be more than likely going to be like Mooresville in sectional 11. Now, the whole thing with the the whole thing with like, with everything changing next year, like with the sectionals and stuff, teams moving up and down classes. With Andran going to say in 3A, so 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 I've known, like, since they won sectionals, that they were going to be 4A, like this next season. I was wondering what teams can be sent down, like, in place of them.
Yeah, that's a good question. That's above my pay grade.
I I uh, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if they're gonna do it. I would feel really bad for them, but I honestly see Martinsville actually being sent down, like, to 3A,
Yeah,
because
yeah, I'm
they're
not
the
entirely sure
yeah.
where their population stands. Um, yeah, that's a good question.
Now I say Martinsville, like, not because of talent, because we
Mhm.
know, like, these past 2 years, like, they've had 2 wins,
Mhm.
but I'm basing it off of, like, enrollment size, because they're the smallest 4A school.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Now, speaking of the Mid-State Conference, this year was the last year of Greenwood.
mm,
How was that? So is there any chance, like, that Greenwood remains on the Perry Meridian schedule for years to come?
yeah, I've talked to Coach Bass down there, and obviously we're close to each other, so it helps out with traffic and quick bus rides, back and forth, trying to get them to stay on. So we'll see, we'll see if we can make it happen. I know we both expressed interest in wanting to do that. Andy's a good guy, they're a good team. Like I said, we're close to each other, so it's a relationship we want to keep for sure.
Yeah. So how is the mid-state landscape now going to change, like, with the addition of Bloomington North?
Um, yeah, I mean retains its spot as, I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a better conference in the state. I mean, I know that there's other good conferences out there, and there's plenty of arguments to be made, but the Mid State's got to be right up there with them. Like I said earlier, you every Tuesday and Wednesday you're seeing a very high quality college level arm. Even from teams that have finished at the bottom, they're still throwing out guys that can get anybody in a lineup out.
Mm-hmm.
And Bloomington North is going to just add to that. So it's still a grind, that's for sure. I'm excited to play those guys. I don't know much about them yet, but I'm sure we'll get to know them here as we get moving to the school year and then closer to baseball season and in the years to come.
Yeah, because uh, yeah, but the reason why like I asked that now the main reason why like I asked that so I'm a big follower like of high school sports in general, but I was following like the games this year, and I also know like that Bloomington North uh, like that Bloomington North like was a really good team
Yeah.
this year,
Hmm.
but they ended up just falling short like of regionals by losing to Bloomington South,
Yeah.
which of course you saw what Bloomington South did, like went directly to state. So
Hmm. Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
They're a good squad. That much I do know.
yeah. So back to the Holder Field stuff. So uh, so how was it? So how was the whole? So how? Okay, how was the energy uh, during the first practice and the first game there?
Yeah, I mean, we us and Southport, both coaches, players, we took pride and took care of the old holder, the dirt holder, as best we could. It was kind of, obviously it's shared and it's difficult to make it home when you're sharing it, but we both put energy and effort into it, and I getting out there on the turf for the first time, I think that didn't change. They now see it more as competitive, obviously, with conference members and other Marion County members. I think that there's even more pride in being able to play at home. Being able to have other schools and their fans come to our home field, and have something that we're proud of putting together. Like I said, it's continuously being worked on here. So as nice as it was to have this year, I expect next year it to be even nicer, and hopefully our two JV fields are done and ready, and the grass is grown, so we can just have everything out there. Because right now, I'm sure as you know, the JV games are at the high school and holders off site actually. So being able to have both teams there with softball at the same time, I mean, it's a much nicer environment. It feels a little bit more home field advantage-y, and the boys really fed off of that in the home games this year for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. So my question for the construction. So what else is being added to Holder Field? Because I know that you mentioned something about more construction is going on.
Yeah, I mean they're still working on the finishing touches, just some of the landscaping stuff like that. The JV fields are growing grass. They're putting in the dirt, the backstops, the just kind of finishing those up. Obviously, all the energy was put into the varsity fields in the off season, so they're ready to go. But hopefully, going to add some more seating around the outside at the varsity fields in particular, to be able to host the IHSA events. I was over there last week, and the landscaping's just kind of being finished up, being put together, so it already looks nicer than even when we finished the season a couple weeks back.
Oh yeah, yeah. So is there okay, my next question is how old is that scoreboard? like for baseball?
We got a yeah, we got a new scoreboard this year. Yeah, you had me thinking there. Yeah, we got a new one with the field this year.
So that's a brand new one then. Okay.
Yep. That was a new one. Before that, I'm not totally sure. I mean, I know that it was there when I was playing in high school, but I
Yeah.
don't know exactly how long. But yeah, we did get a new one with the new field this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. So, uh, okay. So, what players do you think actually had the best? Uh, like had the most like energy, and like and actually play their heart out, like to their best of ability. I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I think you know, our we had two seniors last year. They both led in very different ways. You know, I think Jackson McDaniel, our pitcher, was proud. I mean, undoubtedly our best guy, our best player per se. You know, we were a different team when he was on the mound. Um, Very quiet kid, you know, just went about his business. Was liked by everybody, but wasn't necessarily the guy to be vocal about things. He just kind of handled his business and did his thing. The other senior, our center fielder, Nate Risley, is definitely kind of the heartbeat of the team, very vocal, very energetic, loves playing the game, always has a smile on his face, very Christ centered young man. And, you know, I would definitely describe him as the heartbeat of our team. Um, and so it's going to be interesting to see kind of who fills those shoes from the younger classes. You know, there's some guys that you know stepped into leadership roles a little bit last year, but definitely need to continue to grow. You know, there was a couple freshmen that started for us last year that you know will be interesting to see how they grow. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see who kind of fills Nate's shoes in particular in terms of uh, that the voice leader of the team, the energy leader of the team.
Yeah. So, the last, the last question of this. So I ask everybody this, every manager, every player, and every coach. But your time as head coach, assistant coach, and a player at Roncalli, like when you graduated in 2016. What? What facilities? Like are your top facilities that you've been at?
That's a good question. I mean, I've been lucky enough. We won a state title my senior year for Roncalli, so we got to play at Victory Field. We went back to Victory Field and won a county championship with Perry Meridian in 2023, and then played there last year in one of their invite things or whatever against Greenfield Central. So been lucky enough to be there three times, and that is obviously top tier. I mean, there's be hard pressed to find a better field that is not an MLB stadium than that. Um, Played a few times in college summer ball down at Southridge's home field, and I can't remember the name of it. They filmed the Tom Hanks movie down there. That was a really nice, cool atmosphere. Um, you know, the grandstands, all that stuff. But nowadays, I mean, it's hard to find a favorite just because everybody's got turf. You know,
Yeah.
I'm partial to playing at Holder, but Center Grove's got a cool environment. I mean, I like your guys' environment down there at Mooresville. Um, you know, it's just it's hard to find there. You know, everybody's turf now, so everybody's pretty
Yeah.
much equal. I would say our environment or the environment at Roncalli when I was there, you know, I don't know if you guys have played there, but it's kind of up, you know, up this concrete, you know, asphalt road, and it's kind of tucked away. There's some trees surrounding it. It's a very intimate environment, and when that place gets rocking, you can definitely feel it. Being on the away side a couple times now, and playing some postseason games on the away side up there. Um, when they get going, it can definitely get raucous there. So Yeah, I mean, Victory Field takes the cake, obviously, and but now these guys are so lucky to play on turf every single game. You know, you don't have to worry about any crazy hops or anything like that. You know, you used to have to worry about playing back even a couple years ago.
Yeah. So, so I just thought of these next two questions. Okay, so the first one is, how bad was the traffic this year for you guys for the Mid-State Conference traveling?
it's it's always something. I know we at our conference meeting at the end of the year we asked for 6 p.m. starts again. Sounds like they've asked for that a couple years running now, and it's just seems like 5:30 is just really impossible with transportation schedules and traffic. So hopefully, hopefully we can get that 6 p.m. start time and make it a little bit easier. I know for us at Perry Meridian, we can't leave until about 4:45 anyway because we're waiting on buses to get there. So you know when we're going now down to Bloomington North or out to Plainfield or you know even to Mooresville or you know Martinsville, it can be a 30-45 minute drive depending on traffic that time of day. So it's never fun.
Yeah, because I know that now the reason why I mentioned um uh, uh so uh, uh so I do remember the Perry at Mooresville game, and I remember where you guys were late, actually late arriving because of the traffic, and I
Yeah.
also vividly remember Plainfield because I was also there, uh just I don't remember what I was doing there, but I remember you guys being late because of the traffic. Now
Yeah.
the last question I have is, what were your thoughts on the new turf at Whiteland, Decatur, and Franklin?
Yeah, they're all. I mean, they're all top tier facilities, and they're all really unique and really cool in different ways. You know, I really like what Whiteland did with in particular their side, and you know they've got some nice cages and nice bullpens down there. You know, I really like the center field W out there. You know, it's really nice. Decatur, moving their field back into the woods a little bit there kind of creates this really cool environment. You know, again, you're tucked away kind of back in a corner. It's very intimate. You're not, you don't have all these other things going on around you. They did a really nice job, and I thought Franklin had one of the better dirt fields in the area, and with the turf field, it hasn't changed. You know,
Yeah.
it's a really really neat environment for sure.
Yeah. So the one thing I hate about Whiteland's field is that they have no fence on the dirt.
Yeah, it's a hike to get from the dugout to home plate too, but
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yeah. But it does seem to me but it does seem to me that every Johnson County school's dugouts are vividly different.
Yeah, yeah,
Because Franklin's dugouts are right behind home plate.
yep.
It feels like a mile walk from Whiteland's dugout to the to home plate, and of course Greenwood's field being not being able to drain.
Mhm.
uh yeah,
Yep.
but uh, now now I really do like the new field. Now I really do like the new field, at Decatur. uh,
Yeah, yeah.
uh
It's very nice. Very nice.
yeah, but I think one of my favorite parts of it is I mean one of my favorite parts of it is the whole uh, uh, so one of my favorite parts of it, from the dugout standpoint, uh, you have a fence area, uh, down the I mean at the end of the dugout, by one of the entrances, like in well, where that goes into turf, still covered by a fence, like that you can stand there, which I like that. Like another, like in like in one more thing, like that I really like about the uh, 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 now the I don't know what I'm saying. Yeah, I don't know what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
okay.
but the other thing, but the other thing that I really like about their field is their uh like is their uh like is behind home plate, like the
Mm,
whole
yeah.
wall, like the whole wall, and then their and then their sand sitting up.
Yeah, that is kind of it's unique and different.
Um, to be honest, that kind of reminds me of like Lawrence Central's because I was there this year.
Yep.
Because I was there this year, like for a semi-state. But
Yep.
well, that will do it for today's episode of the Thundercast. Tomorrow, John Easter from Ben Davis is joining, and Thursday evening, Steve Marizzi, head coach of Plainfield, will be joining. So, Robbie, thanks for joining, and I will more than likely see you next season.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.